Hey guys, and on today's video we're going to be doing motorway driving. I'm going to show you how to join it, how to exit the motorway, lane changing, how to overtake safely. It's quite a rainy day today as well, so that's going to give us some good examples of what to do in quite rainy conditions like this today as well. So hopefully you guys enjoy it, hopefully you like it. If you do, share, subscribe, join the channel. There's lots more videos about other stuff that you can watch as well that are really useful. So without any more talking, let's go and do it. Okay, so we're going on to the M1. You can see on the signs here, we've got all these blue signs for the motorway. So the signs that you see on the motorways will be blue, dual carriageways will be green. So as we approach, we've got the slip road here. We've got the speed limit for 50 miles an hour, and it's nice and clear, so I'm going to stop, putting lots of gas on, building up my speed. I'm in third gear already. I can see the sign for the slip road there. So we've got the one on the far left, that means we've got our own lane. So we don't need to worry about joining a different lane. See this, the one on the left there, it's got a separate lane by itself, so we can just use that. I'm still going to check my right mirror just in case anybody's in this lane, but as you can see here, you see we've got our own lane. You didn't have to change and join the other lane. So when the arrow is pointing towards the other lane, that would mean that you have to join a different lane. But if the arrow is on the left is just going to its own lane, it means you have your own lane. You don't have to worry about joining a different lane on the right. So now that it's clear, I'm going to be building up my speed to 70 miles an hour. Still checking around and checking my center mirror, checking my right mirror to see, and my left mirror to see who's around me as well. I'm looking into the distance to see how fast those guys are going. I don't really need my foot on the clutch as such because I'm not going to need it anytime soon, I don't think. Just resting it on the side there, especially for long journeys. You want to be comfortable, so you can rest it on the side. Some cars have got like a footrest on the left. You can just rest your foot. Just don't forget to bring it back up to the clutch if something happens at the front there. So I'm checking my mirrors right now. There's not really anyone close behind me, well, you always want to be aware of what's going on behind you anyway. Up ahead is looking nice and clear. And I'm using my reference point to stay in the middle of the lane as well. So just the line on the right just there is in the corner of my windscreen, so I know it's in the right place. And also the line on the left is in the middle of my windscreen as well, which shows me I'm in the right position. So I've got this sign on the triangle sign there, showing us there's a slip road joining the motorway here. So another sign there sees lots of warnings telling you, look, there's another road joining this motorway. So I'm just going to be checking my right mirror in case I've got to change lanes, checking my center mirror as well, and I'm looking for cars coming from the left side now. Checking my left mirror as well as I get closer to where the slip road joins my lane. Checking again, then I can carry on now. So those cars coming from the left from the slip road have to wait for us, or we've got priority if you're already on the motorway. But it's a good idea just to check what's going on around you in case you have to change lanes suddenly, in case the person on the left has made a mistake, or in case you want to actually move out the way for them as well. So you don't have to move out the way, but sometimes if the road is clear, especially on the right there, it might be a good idea just to help them out by moving over to the right. So I want us to practice coming off the motorway and joining as well. So I just saw a sign a second ago saying services coming up soon. So we're going to come off there. Then I'll show you how to get back, how to actually come off and then get back on again. So you've got services 1 mile away. And when you're going this sort of speed, 1 mile won't take long to get to. I can see these cars already are slowing down. So normally I probably would overtake these guys, but I know I'm coming off soon, so I'm not going to do that because I don't know how many cars are in front of that lorry. I don't want to go there and then have to fight my way back into the left. I'm just slowing down a bit so that I'm not going too close to them. You want to keep that safe 2 seconds gap between you and the car in front. So we've got those markers on the left. We've got 300 yards and then 200 yards. I'm going to start indicating between 200 and 300, so around here I'll start indicating, let people know that I'm coming off the next exit. This gives people plenty of warning. Then I'm going to go into the slip road straight away. I'm not going to wait over there and then turn into the left. I'm going into it straight away. I'm reducing my speed now because I've got a warning sign there. So those arrows pointing towards the left, showing us that it's a very sharp bend. So I'm reducing my speed right down. I'm going straight into second. I was actually in fifth before. I've gone straight into second by slowing down enough. And we've got a sign there for 10 miles an hour. So I'm going to go even slower. So when you come off the motorways, you have to be very careful because we were going very quick just a second ago, and now we have to go really slowly. So you won't notice that you're going too fast if you're not careful. So in here, you might be doing 30 miles an hour, and it will feel like you're doing 10, just because you were doing 70 a few seconds before. So you have to be really conscious of what speed you're doing. What you check the speedometer to check to make sure that you're not going too fast there. So following signs for the north M1, so it's going towards the left. I'm already in that lane to go to that way anyway, so I don't really have to signal for this. But I know the motorway is coming up soon, so I'm going to start increasing my speed now. You can see that it's quite clear. The cars are going quite fast over there as well, so I'm going to carry on going faster and faster. Now I'm starting to check my mirrors, signal right as well. Check my mirrors. There's a van in that lane, but he's moved out of the way. Thank you, sir. And then I can join it. So you see what I was talking about before. So he didn't have to move out the way, but by him doing that, it made it a lot easier for me to move over to this lane here. So that's why you want to check your mirrors as you approach the slip road. If you're already on the motorway, like he done a really good job there. He checked his mirrors probably and then signaled to go out to the middle lane, which made it easier for me to go into this lane. So we've got this lorry. He's doing 60 miles an hour roughly. This is road 70 road. I want to go overtaking, so I can see that it's clear on my right there. There is a car coming really fast in the middle lane, so I'm just gonna let him go past because he's going quite quickly. Once he's gone, I'm gonna check my mirrors again. I'm gonna signal right, and I can check again before I move over, and cancel my signal, and then put a lot more gas on now. So I don't want to be in here going really slowly for no reason. So I'm doing 70 now. I'm not going to go straight back into the left. I want to be able to see this guy, this lorry, in my mirror, in my center mirror. So now I can see him, but if you look over there, there's another sign saying there's a slip road. So I don't want to move to the left right now because cars from that slip road will be joining this lane on the left. So I don't really want to go in there and then get in their way. That's another reason why they put those signs there, to warn you so you don't go to the left unnecessarily. So you see those cars, there's the lane there, so that little car they're joining. If I was to go into that lane before, I might just make it harder for them to do that. So that's why you want to wait until you go past the slip road and then go back. So if this lorry wasn't there, I would go back now, but it doesn't make sense going back into that lane and then having to come out again straight away because it's doing about 60 as well. So I'm just gonna go past him first, and then if it's safe I'll go back to the left. But for now, this lane is okay. So like that little car has moved over to the left. Carry on going 70 miles an hour. I'm checking my mirrors around me as well. So that car on the left is going a bit slower than 70, so I'm just going to stay in this lane, and then once I go past them and I can see them in my center mirror, I'm going to signal left again and then go back to the left. So you don't want to signal too soon, that can be a bit scary for the car that's behind. So I'm going to signal left. I can see them in my center mirror now, so they're far enough away. Once I'm in the lane, cancel my signal, because when you change lanes in these kind of roads, the signal doesn't cancel itself. This guy's going kind of slow as well. I'm just going to go back to the middle, overtake him. Okay. So when you're overtaking, don't do it in a rush. Just take your time, check your mirrors, signal, and then go in when it's safe. Don't do it at the same. Don't signal and then move lanes at the same time. You want to do it in a timely way, and you want to plan ahead as well. So even like now, I'm thinking about overtaking this lorry. It's quite far away, but I'm still thinking about it. I'm looking around me, see who's behind me here, what kind of cars are coming up fast behind me, so that when I do get closer to him, to this lorry, I can move out the way in time. I can change lanes without having to do too much processing of information. So like now I can see that it's kind of clear. I can check the mirrors and signal, check again before I move into the lane. Once I'm in the lane, cancel my signal. And then the whole time I'm overtaking, I'm making sure I don't go over the speed limit as well. You don't wanna go over 70 miles an hour just to overtake people. Yeah, once I can see with my center mirror, I'm gonna check signal left and then move over. So we've got a slip road on the left again. I can see there's not really much traffic there. I'm still going to keep checking. Sometimes cars will come really fast and try to go in front of you. I'm just checking my mirror and there's still no one there. Even just before the slip road's finished, I'm going to check my mirror one more time and there's no one there. Carry on now. And you notice the lane on the left there, that's the hard shoulder. Damn, there's something on the road there. Okay, that's the hard shoulder. And you use it only for breakdown. So if you're broken down, that's the only time that you're going to use it. But there are some sections of the motorway that allow you to use the hard shoulder, but there'll be signs saying to you you can use the hard shoulder at that point there. Otherwise you only use it for emergencies. And then if you do break down, it's best to use one of these phones here, the breakdown phones. That way they can pinpoint exactly where you are and they can come and rescue you. So from your theory test or from your theory practice, you might remember it will say if you're broken down, you want to get out of your car and then go and stand behind the barrier. Don't wait in your car because it's more dangerous there. So we're going to come off the next exit. This car's going about 60 miles an hour. It's going kind of slow, but there's a car. I'll probably overtake him, but there's a car on my right here as well. So I'm just going to wait. And it's half a mile away, so I'm not going to bother overtaking him, especially there's another car in front of him as well. I don't want to overtake him and then have to make my way back. So yeah, I was saying about the hard shoulder as well. So once let's say you've fixed the car and you sorted out the problem, to join the motorway again, you don't want to just go in there when you're going really slowly, because that can be quite dangerous. You want to build up your speed in the hard shoulder, get to about 70 miles an hour and then move over to this lane. Okay, so we're coming off the next exit, so 300 yards, between 300 and 200, I'll signal left, let people know that I'm coming off. And I can already see signs on there, once I've come off, saying reduce your speed because it's a sharp bend. Lots of signs telling you that it's a sharp bend. So I'm covering my brake, I'm braking early, saying slow. Lots of signs warning us that it's a very sharp bend as well. So now I'm in third, going nice and slowly around this bend, doing about 25 miles an hour now. Following signs for M25, so I'm just going to keep left. So the speed limit has changed now to 50. So from the motorway it was 70. And this sign is always telling us the motorway has finished here. So this is now a dual carriageway. You can see the green signs. So check out the other video for big roundabouts, how to do this, but I'm gonna go through it with you quickly anyway. Approaching in second gear, I'm checking the right. I can see a lorry coming towards us, so I'm gonna stop and get into gear 1. Check for any more traffic with that van coming towards us. After he's gone, there's a car coming towards us as well. She should have been indicating, but she wasn't. Okay, I'm going round towards the right, so that's the first exit over there. Second exit is just there. Checking my mirrors. Signal left now to come off the next exit. So I'm increasing my speed loads. Got the slip road here. This is a very long slip road actually, you can see. And I'm going to signal right. I'm checking the speed of the traffic that's already on the motorway there. Trying to match them, so I'm matching this lorry's speed. I'm checking behind him, there's a van behind him, so I'm just going to slow down a bit so he goes past. Okay, he's gone into the other lane. And you notice I've done a little blind spot check as well. Sometimes you need to do that if you're not sure what's next to you in that lane there. Just a quick blind spot check, very quick though, don't do too long because you want to be seeing what's in front of you. So I'm going to see how far I am from this lorry. So 1, 2, so I'm about 2.5 seconds behind him. So you remember, use the fixed point. So like that bridge, I'm going to start counting when it gets to the bridge. So 1, 2, 3. So then you stop counting when you get to the bridge. So I'm about 3 seconds behind him, which is good, but it's going a bit slow for my liking. So I'm just going to go around him. I'm just going to go past him. So I'm going to check my mirrors, signal right, check again on the right, and then the traffic is clear now. I can go into there. And I'm going to increase my speed. Making sure I don't go over 70. So once I get 70, keep my gas there now. I'm checking ahead of me as well. I don't want to. So remember, you want to drive in the left normally, but here you can see lots of lorries on the left going slowly. So I'm not going to go back in there. Otherwise, I'm going to be going in and out all the time, which is not ideal. So I'm just going to keep in this lane for now until it gets much clearer, and then I'll think about going back to the left. But for now, I'm just going to keep it in this lane. I might even go to the other lane as well, because you can see there's more lorries in this lane going kind of slow. So I'm just checking around me in case I've got to do that. There's a van on my right, it's going kind of slow, so I'm just gonna signal right, check the mirror again, and then that's it, done. So quite a few lorries close together there. When there's lots of vehicles close together, you want to be really aware of what's going on behind you in case you have to change lanes. Because sometimes when people are really close together, one person will get a bit fed up of waiting or going too slow, and they might suddenly change lanes. So you want to be ready for that, and just keep a safe distance from them as well, so that you can do what you need to do safely. So right now I'm doing about 65. There's lots of traffic in front of me, so I can't really be doing 70 at the moment because everyone's going a bit slower. And when people are braking as well, just be careful because they might suddenly change lanes too a bit now. So now that the road is getting a bit wet, the distance between me and the vehicle in front should be a bit bigger now. So I'm going to be at least 4 seconds away from the car in front. No closer, so I'm going to use that bridge to count how far I am from this van in front of me here. So once it goes past the bridge, I'll start counting. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm about 4 seconds behind him, which is good. Then if this car's gone into this space, hopefully it's going to speed up, and he does. Because if he does go into a space and he goes slowly, you want to back off a bit so you're maintaining that safe 4-second gap between you and that car in front. So when you're in this position here, you should just be thinking about what's going on behind you, what's going on in front, what's going on way up there as well. There's a lot of thinking that you have to do. Don't get too distracted, because obviously you're going quite fast here. You might not realize it, but this is very fast. 70 miles an hour is very quick. When you're with the other cars going like this at all the same speed, it doesn't feel that fast. But if you were to stand on the side there and watch these cars go past, you'd realize then how fast everyone's going and how fast you're actually going as well. So stay alert, and you want to be ready for any situation by looking really far ahead, looking close, and looking behind you as well. So you have a picture of what's going on really far, close to you, and behind you as well. So I'll probably go around this van. So I don't want to go around it from the left, because that's undertaking. I'm going to check my mirrors and signal right, because he's going at 60 miles an hour. So I'm going to get 70 and go around him. But he might start speeding up now, which sometimes people do, especially now that the road is leveling out. So it's going back towards the left, which is good. So now I'm going to check my mirrors and go back to this lane. Okay, I can see signs for 50, so I'm going to reduce my speed. Check my mirrors behind me as well. Reduce my speed to, I'm going back into this lane, so I can reduce my speed to 50. you don't want to slam your brakes on just to reduce the speed. You want to do it in a safe way. If you can, best way you can do it is if you see the sign early and you can slow down enough before you get to the sign. But there, I didn't have much time. When I saw the sign, it was a bit late, and then I didn't want to slam my brake and then start doing 50 straight away. It wasn't safe to do that, so I started reducing my speed gradually, and then now I'm doing 50. So sometimes you have these temporary speed limits on the motorway. And there was a sign as well telling us that the lane on the right was closed. As you can see there, that's probably why they're doing 50-mile-an-hour section here, because we've got roadworks there. So you want to look out for the signs that will tell you that this restriction or this temporary speed limit is finished. They'll usually have a sign saying end, or they might just have another sign for national speed, which shows you then that you can go back to 70 miles an hour again if it's clear. I'm still in fifth gear. This is good for like doing between 45 or so and 70 miles an hour in this car. So I'm still keeping in that gear for now. So now the road is just down to 2 lanes from, I think it was about 4 lanes before. Another reminder of the speed limit as well, just in case you weren't sure. You just keep checking for more signs. And I can see a sign there telling us we've got a slip road joining us at the bottom there, and we've got another one that's got its own lane. So that warns you of what's going on ahead. So this sign here shows you the lane on the left has their own lane. So they shouldn't be trying to join us unless they want to be in this lane for some other reason. But they should just be in their own lane like that. So when it's safe, I want to go back to the left if there is space, because that's the normal lane to drive in. But right now this car is really close to me, the one here, and there's another car just behind him as well. So I'm not gonna force myself in between them. I'm just gonna keep it at 50. Once I see enough space, I'll go back to the left. So now that I can see them in my center mirror, I can go back to the left. When you're next to these kind of lorries here, you don't want to drive in their blind spot for too long. So like there, just backed off a tiny bit just so this guy is so I'm just out of his blind spot area. So basically the blind spot area is next to the lorry, just underneath their wing mirror. They can't see you when you're there. And if you drive there for too long, they might forget that you're there and turn into you. So what I do, the best thing to do there is if you find yourself next to a lorry for too long, just back off, just ease off the gas a tiny bit. That will allow them to go forward. Then you carry on doing your normal speed. So the signs for the national speed is coming up again. So you see there, telling us that the roadworks have ended and it's now back to 70 miles an hour. So I'm just going to increase my speed. The rain's getting a lot heavier now, so you want to be careful here of like visibility, splash. So right now my headlights are already on, but if they weren't, I'd put them back on, because you want to be able to be seen as well by other cars. So I would normally be driving on the left, but there's a lorry there and he's moving to the right as well for some reason. So there might be another slow moving vehicle in his lane. Maybe he's just doing that because he doesn't want to go to that exit over there. So I'm just going to go to the left lane because I want to come off the next exit, which is the A10. And you don't want to overtake lorries or any vehicle from the left. That's undertaking. So I'm just going to reduce my speed. There's a car behind me. I'm just going to. This is why you want to be careful before you brake. How you want to check your mirrors. There's a car right behind me. Just change lanes behind me. And if I brake too hard, there was a chance that they could have hit me. So I was braking really gently because I saw them quite close. And because I don't want to go past this lorry undertaking, I'm just going to reduce my speed like now and stay behind him like this until we go off the exit that we need. So some exits like this is just your own lane that takes you to the exit. There's no slip road as such. It just takes you there's a long lane that takes you to the exit like it just did now. So I know I want to turn right at this roundabout, so I'm just going to keep to the right of this lane, and then it's going to split into twos. I'm checking my right mirror and my left mirror as I go there as well, to make sure that there's no one coming off the motorway into this lane. So I'm trying to go right. I'm going to go all the way around, come back on ourselves so we can go the other way. Checking into the road that I want to go in as well. I'm going to go over there. So it's always good to have a little look at the conditions of the traffic on the motorway before you go onto it as well. It just gives you a little heads up before you get onto it, in case there's like lots of traffic there. You don't want to go really fast onto the slip road. If it's clear like it was just now, I know that I'm going to need to build up my speed as I join it. So now I think I should be in the next on the lane on the left. Checking my mirror. Car's very close to me, but they're letting me go now. Thank you. Coming off the next exit. Checking my mirrors. M25. Start building up my speed. Always check this sign here. It shows you. So there, see the lane on the left? It's just got its own lane, so it's not going to be too hard. It means that we don't have to join this lane here. You see, we have our own lane, which makes it a lot easier. But I still want to check my right mirror to see who's next to me. So the car on in the next lane over on the right, it's going about 60 miles an hour. I want to go past them. Remember, I can't go past them using the left lane, so I'm just I need to go into this lane. Then go to the other lane. It's quite busy on the right there. I'm going to signal, let people know I want to change lanes, check the mirrors again, and then slowly move over to this lane. Always keeping in mind of that safe gap between me and the vehicle in front. So 4 seconds, so 1. Let me find another point to start counting, but this is about 4 seconds away. If you're not sure, you can just use a fixed point and start counting. Looking at the cars that are in front of him as well, in front of the car in front of me, see what they're doing, because that will affect me as well. I'm not just thinking about him, I'm thinking about what's going on in front, what's going on next to me, in case I need to change lanes. So rain's getting very heavy now. Visibility is getting quite poor. So I'm just going to reduce my speed. So see how he's braking? When he brakes, I just cover my brake as well because I don't want to get close to them. When it's really heavy rain like this, you want to be very careful how you're steering as well. If your steering suddenly feels really light, it's probably because you've got too much water in your tyres, and you just need to slow down a bit before you lose control of the car. You don't want to skid out. See, there's a lot of spray coming from this lorry as well, which makes the visibility very poor. Just gonna go past it. So now I'm thinking about going back to the next lane on the left here because it looks kind of clear. But before I do that, I'm just checking what the van on the left is doing over there as well. Make sure he doesn't want to go into this lane because there's a lorry in front of him going kind of slowly. Or I might even go into that lane actually and overtake these guys because they're going kind of slow now. So you see, the situation is always developing, always changing. See, the lorry is in that lane now, so I wouldn't want to go in there now because then I'll be too close behind him. So I'm thinking about going into the lane on the right to overtake these guys in front. There's a van really close behind me. He's just joined this lane here, so I'm just going to keep an eye on him. And what you don't want to do when someone's really close behind you is like speed up really quickly. Just keep your, if anything, you don't want to get close to the vehicles in front. You want to slow down a bit to reduce that, to minimize that risk of an accident happening. So it's very close to me actually, this guy. Hopefully he's going to go around. It's really close. Rush. So yeah, you don't want to be intimidated by people that are driving close. He actually even flashed me there, but sometimes people do that to try to make you go faster, or try to make you move out the way. But I didn't want to move out the way. There's a lorry right there, so he needed to go around me. He's tailgating someone else now, but let's not concentrate on him too much. Let's focus on what we're doing. So the whole time that guy was behind me, I was still conscious of the guys in front. I didn't want to get too close to them, because that would make the situation even more dangerous. If he's tailgating me, then if I'm tailgating the next guy, that's a recipe for disaster. So I just kept my distance from those guys in front of me, which is what you want to do. So like now it's getting a bit clearer. I'm doing about 70 miles an hour now. Keeping an eye on people around me as well. Okay. The rain is getting a bit less now, so it's good. So remember, I'm thinking about going to the left lane, but I can see there's a white van over there. It's going kind of slow, so I'm just gonna stick to this lane for now, because if I go there, I'm gonna have to come back to this lane pretty much straight away just to overtake them again. I might even go to the right lane actually, but there's a van behind me doing the same thing. It's kind of far away, so I can do that. So I'm just going to go into this lane and go past these guys. Once I go past these guys, I'll think about going back to the middle lane when it's safe. So here I'm barely touching the gas because it's going downhill, just feathering it a little bit, and it's still going quite fast, still doing 70 miles an hour. So there'll be times when you don't even need to touch the gas at all because you're already going fast. Yeah. So before I go back to the left, I'm thinking about the vehicle in front. So the red lorry is going kind of slowly. So once I go past him, then I'll think about going back towards the middle lane. Yes, see, it's changed again because okay, now it's 50 miles an hour, but I'm not going to slam my brake because there's a van behind me. So that sign was came a little bit out of the blue because all those lorries were blocking my view from the left, and then there was a sign suddenly saying 50, and again I didn't want to slam my brake because there's a van behind me, so I just slowed down a bit, checked my mirrors, and then I moved to the left. And then now there was a short temporary speed limit there, so now it's back to 70 again. So I'm going to work my way up to 70 when it's safe. If I need to change lanes, I'll change lanes. Yeah, so I'm checking my mirrors. I can go into the middle lane now. So I want to go to the right lane, but I'm not going to do it in one go. I'm just going to do it in two moves. So right now, check again, and then I'll go to the right. I had lots of gas because it's nice and clear. Now I'm doing 70. And then I'll think about going back to the middle lane now. So that lorry's moved over to the left as well, so that's nice. So I don't like changing lanes. Let's say you want to go to this lane here. I wouldn't want to do it now when the lorry is right there, because if he decides to change lanes, If he decides to change into the lane that I'm trying to go into, that might be a disaster there because he won't see me. So what I like to do is, if I'm changing lanes, I'll go just way before the vehicle or after them so they can see me. So we want to follow signs for the M1 towards the south, towards London. So if you look at this sign here, so we've got M1 south, half a mile away. You've got M1 north as well, which is 3/4 of a mile away. So I'm going to start going towards the left because I know that it's coming up soon. So I don't want to be in that lane then suddenly change lanes at the last second. So remember, we want M1 south or London. Yeah, the signs are nice and big, but don't stare at them for too long because you want to be looking at what's going on in front of you here. So M1 south, I can see the sign there. If you miss your exit, or if you miss the sign that you want, don't do it the last second. Keep going straight, and you can always turn around somewhere and come back. Last thing you want to do is turn suddenly and cause an accident. So this skip lorry is going into the M1 as well, it looks like. Hopefully he's going to build his speed up. If he doesn't, it might make it a bit trickier for us to join, but it looks like it's starting to speed up now. Because when you join this, you want to be going kind of fast. So check my mirrors. It looks quite clear on the right there, so I can join. I would have changed lanes again, but there's cars there, so I'm just gonna keep it behind this guy for now. But once this van's gone past, it's clearer now, I can go past, build up my speed a lot more. So before changing lanes, don't be in a rush to change lanes quickly once you've joined the motorway. Check to make sure it's safe first before you do that. And now that it's nice and clear, I can go back to the left. So you see here, it's got two slip roads. You've got one or two lanes that are on the slip road. The right one is going to be forcing you probably to join the lane there. This one gives you a bit more time. So you're going to be checking the cars that were in that lane and cars that are in this lane that you're trying to join as well. There's a red car, but it's on the other lane. And the best way to tell what lane the other car is in is, so you look at the line. You look at the car next to you, and then you look at the line next to them. And if that line is next to your car, that means that car is in the lane next to you. So that's this blue car here, for instance. You see, so he's in the next lane. But if I'll show you another example of a different car in a different lane. Sometimes if you look, you're not sure. You can't tell what lane they're in. So like this car coming towards us now. If I look now, I can see he's next to us because I can see the line next to him is next to our car in the mirror, which shows me that he's next to us. So I wouldn't change lanes in front of him like that. But if he's in the other lane, I can see there's a space between this lane and the other lane, then I'll go in there. So like this car now, for instance, on there, I don't know if you can see him, but he's in the other lane, so the one that's going past now. And then this car coming towards us now, the Audi, he's in the lane next to us. So when you're overtaking as well, you don't want to go too close and then move out the way. Do it nice and early so that you don't get close to the vehicle. And keep an eye on their signals as well, so that you don't change lanes just as they're changing lanes too. So depending on where you're going as you exit, you want to make sure it's easier if you just aim for that side in the first place. So if you're going towards the left, you want to stick to the left as you come off. If you're going towards the right, you know you're going towards the right, stick towards the right as you come off. That way you're already in the position that you need to be in. So we've got a sign there for the motorways finishing in 1 mile. We've also got signs telling you that this lane's going to one place and the other lanes are going to a different place. We want to go towards Wembley, so we'll stay in this lane here. People are starting to reduce their speed already. So the van in front is doing about 60. I'm starting to see signs telling us there's a roundabout coming up. Reduce speed now. So now I'm doing about 55. There's more signs telling us to reduce our speed. And you've got these yellow lines on the floor here. They just give you a reminder of how fast you're going. So if you're going really fast here, you would feel this like that will show you that you're going a bit too quick, just like a visual reminder. That's what they're there for. And they're warning you coming up something as well, so you have to pay attention to this. So you don't want to be zooming towards this roundabout here. Back to 30 miles an hour. So right now 30 miles an hour feels like I'm going really slow. And that's because I've been on the motorway for a while. Checking the right side. Checking in front of me as well. Got a nice gap there. So that's the end. Hopefully you guys liked that. Hopefully you guys found it useful. So remember, the key points are when you're joining the motorway, you want to build up your speed, make sure that you've got enough speed, match the speed of the cars that are already on the motorway so that you're not slowing anybody down. Check your mirrors, loads, make sure that you're going in there safely. When you're overtaking, don't do it in a rush, take your time, don't rush to overtake as well. Do it when you have time to do it, and do it safely as well. You drive in the left lane unless there's lots of slow moving vehicles in there, so otherwise you want to be driving in the left lane, which is the normal lane. The other lanes are for overtaking. When you want to come off, make sure you plan your exit nice and early so you know where you're going. Don't turn on the last second if you miss your exit. If you miss your exit, just keep going and then come back around again. It's much safer that way. You're going to save yourself a lot more hassle. So I'll do more videos like this. Hopefully you guys kind of got some use out of that one. If you did, remember to share, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video, guys.